Alaikum wa rahmatullah for starting of our program. So I will start the Surah Al-Baqarah آیه 151 141 to 157. And I request all brothers and sisters, could you please say loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين. ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون. ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
MashaAllah, brother. MashaAllah. Baradigar salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
We are here to commemorate the martyrdom of our second Imam, Imam Hasan alayhi salam. He was the son of the commander of the faithful, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, and Lady of Paradise, Sayyida Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha. He was the brother of Mawla Hussain alayhi salam and Sayyida Zainab and Mawla Abbas alayhi salam. He was born 50th Ramadan Mubarak in Medina and brought up under the tarbiyah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah loved him too much. Rasulullah said, "He is my son and my progeny. He is the Imam of Ummah." Rasulullah said, "Al Hasan wal Hussain Sayyida Shabab Ahl Jannah." Hasan and Hussain are the master of the youth of paradise. He was very generous and kind-hearted and peaceful. He has some character. He has same character as Rasulullah have. On the martyrdom of his father Imam Ali, he was chosen as the righteous Khalifa, but son of Abu Sufyan, Muawiyah bin Abu Sufyan, does not accept him as an Khalifa. To save Islam from evil, he did an agreement with Muawiyah on some term and condition, but Muawiyah does not follow these term and condition. He planned to kill Imam by his wife. Jada give poison in the fruit to our Imam. On 28th Safar, our Imam martyred by this poison. Our heartiest condolences to our Imam of time, Imam al-Hujjah, and whole Ummah, especially Mu'mineen of Saskatoon, for Muhammad wa Ahl Bayt Muhammad salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
क्यों बुझ गया चराग नबी के मजार का, क्यों बुझ गया चराग नबी के मजार का, क्यों रंग उड़ गया है लबे रोजगार का, बढ़ता है इस तरह दिल सोगवार का, पर्दे में शोर क्यों है किसी पर्दादार का, फिर जख्म हो गया कोई ताजा इलाही है, फिर घर को आ रहा है जनाजा इलाही है. Now I would like to invite Brother Haidar Abbas to recite Marsiya. Bahazur Imam Hasan Mujtaba alayhi salam bulandar salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
जिस दम हसन का जहर से टुकड़े जिगर हुआ, जिस दम हसन का जहर से टुकड़े जिगर हुआ, सहपाना दिल का आँखों से ज़ेरो ज़बर हुआ, सुनका जो है पाक पर ज़ाहिर असर हुआ, हाल सीमा में पाक का उस दम दिगर हुआ, राहत में फर्क और शिकन में खलल पड़ा, कलेजा निकल पड़ा, इस दम दर्द से हड़पने लगे ईमान, हर सदमे से चेहरा होने लगा सुरखुमान, चिल्लाए दर्द से कलेजे को थाम थाम, अरे दौड़ो बुलाओ ज़ैनब को, काम हमारा हुआ तमाम, ये कहते कहते जर्दे रुखे हो गया, चिल्लाते थे हाय जिगर चाक हो गया, चिल्लाते थे हाय कि जिगर चाक हो गया। दौड़ी जनाब ज़ैनबे बेकस बरहान और देखा के लौटते हैं बिछोने पे मुश्तबा। बोली ये सर को पी के वो हमें मुब्तला। हाय 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 बहन निसार हो भाई ये क्या हुआ। क्या फिर किसी ने जहर दवा से पिलाया है। किसने मेरे कलेजे पे खंजर चलाया है। किसने मेरे कलेजे पे खंजर चलाया है। तकिया लगा रहे थे हम जो इधर उधर। अरे बाजू को थाम लेते थे तो कोई सर। फरमाया लाओ तश्त हुआ जहर का असर। रह रह के कोई काटता है ऐसे जिगर। बढ़ता था जिगर में जब जब इमाम के। अरे झुकते थे बार बार कलीजे को थाम के। अरे झुकते थे बार बार कलीजे को थाम के। फरमाते थे हसन के बुलाओ हुसैन को। अरे था दम बदम ये हुक्म खिलाओ हुसैन को। भाई का हाल जान सुनो हुसैन को। टुकड़े मेरे जिगर के दिखाओ हुसैन को। अरे कह दो कि जल्द आए रहलत का वक्त है। अरे सुन जाइए कुछ आके वसीयत का वक्त है। आए हुसैन इतने में चश्म इश्क़ चिल्लाते थे कि आपकी गुर्बत में निसार। शब्बर गले को चूम के कहते थे बार बार। अरे मैं सदके तुम पे मेरे नाना किया कार। मुझसे ज्यादा जुल्मों से तुम पे होंगे। अरे हम कब्र में तुम्हारी मुसीबत पे रोएंगे। अरे हम कब्र में तुम्हारी मुसीबत पे रोएंगे। जिस दम हसन का जहर से जिगर हुआ।
صل على محمد
محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه.
MashaAllah, brother. MashaAllah, Baraneegar, salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد
وآل محمد. ज़हरा के लाल तेरे चमन को मेरा सलाम। ज़हरा के लाल तेरे चमन को मेरा सलाम। तेरी हर एक उदास बहन को मेरा सलाम। अब्बास की जबीन की शिकन को मेरा सलाम। छलनी बदन को सुर्ख कफन को मेरा सलाम। सदमा तेरा बहुत है शाह मशरकैन को। सदमा तेरा बहुत है शाह मशरकैन को। गुस्सा मैं दे रहा हूँ इमाम हुसैन को। पर मोहम्मद व अहले बैत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
I would like to invite Brother On to recite Salam. Brother On. पर मोहम्मद व अहले बैत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
Praise to the Imam Hasan alayhi salam and salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है कैसे दरवाज़ा हटाऊं कैसे मोहसिन को बचाऊं सांस सीने में रुकी है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है हाथ में जिसके मेरा हाथ दिया था तुमने कह के मन कुन तो जिसे मौला कहा था तुमने मैंने हर मोड़ पे बाबा साथ उसका है निभाया हाँ मेरा जुर्म यही है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की गई है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की गई है तेरी उम्मत ने बना दी है ये हालत बाबा कोई तसली भी नहीं मेरी सलामत बाबा सांस लेती हूँ मैं जिस दम घुटने लगता है मेरा दम सिर्फ मरने की कमी है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है कभी दरबार में पेशी को बुलाते हैं हमें कभी दरवाजे पे आके सताते हैं हमें मेरे ये फूल से बच्चे पूछते हैं यही मुझसे क्या खता हम से हुई है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है शर्म आती है भला तुमको बताऊं कैसे ये तमाचों की निशान तुमको दिखाऊं कैसे तुम न पहचान सकोगे देख कर मुझसे कहोगे क्या मेरी ज़ाहिरा यही है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है तेरी ज़ाहिरा पे मुसीबत की घड़ी है कैसे दरवाज़ा हटाऊं कैसे मोहसिन को बचाऊं सांस सीने में रुकी है तेरी ज़ाहिरा से मुसीबत की घड़ी है रब सलावत
माशाल्लाह brother, माशाल्लाह वाले दीगर सलावत I would like to invite brother another shot for citation by Muhammad Abdul Muhammad salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
برای سلامتی خودتان و سلامتی امام زمان صلوات بلند.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
برای تعجیل در فرج ولی عصر ارواح صلوات دیگر.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين المصطفى الأمجد بالقاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وآله المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض الإمام الهادي المهدي المنتظر عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف عن عبد السلام هروي عن رضا عليه الصلاة والسلام قال رحم الله عبدا أحيا أمرنا قلت كيف يحيي أمركم قال يتعلم علومنا ويعلمه الناس فإن الناس لو علموا محاسن كلامنا لاتبعونا صلوات على محمد جناب عبدالسلام بروی هلاتی از حضرت امام هشتم علیه السلام نقل می کند که روزی در خدمت امام هشتم قرار گرفتم و از ایشون شنیدم که فرمود رحم الله عبدا احیا امرا. خدا رحمت کند پدران و مادران و اما گذشتگان کسانی را که بعد از 1200 سال 1400 سال 1000 سال در حسینیه ها امام باقر ها میآیند حضور می‌یابند و یادی از رسول الله و اهل بیت سنت و طهارت می‌نمایند و یاد می‌گیرند از این مدارس حسینی علوم ما را و به کسان دیگر می‌آموزند. امام دعا کرده برای جناب عبدالسلام ابن صالح علوی ابا سلت رحمت الله علیه روایت کرده که حضرت امام علی رضا علیه السلام که منظر مبارک بیتا تب حضرت نے ارشاد فرمایا خداوند عالم اس شخص پر رحم فرمائے جو ہمارے امر مکتب اہل بیت علیہم السلام اور تشیع کو زندہ کرتا ہے. راوی کہتی ہے میں نے پوچھا مولانا آپ کا امر کس طرح زندہ کرے. امام علیہ السلام نے فرمایا ہمارے علوم و معارف کو इसके और दूसरी लोगों को सिखाए क्योंकि अगर लोग हमारे कलाम के खूबसूरती को जान ले तो जरूर हमारे पैरवी करेंगे على روح شادي روح إمام هشتم علي بن موسى الرضا اللهم صل على خداوند بزرگ و برتر که هم انسانوں پر الطاف में से एक लुत्फ ये है कि उसने हमारे जिंदगी का मताला करने के साथ हम मानवी व इलाही जिंदगी गुजारने का तरीका इसके और उनकी मुफीद फरमाइशात पर अमल करके अबदी सआदत का सामन कर सकते वाकई सआदत जाय सआदत व खुशबख्ती برای هر مؤمن و هر مسلم پیرو اهل بیت علیه الصلاة والسلام بنا به کلام اهل بیت و معصومین علیه الصلاة والسلام که ساعت و دقایق از عمرش را در راه خدا و اهل بیت سپری کنند و طوری که امام هشتم فرمود از علوم ما را بیاموزد و برای کسان دیگر بیاموزانند. سرزمین مشهد مقدس بهشت کا वो टुकड़ा है जिसने रसूल खुदा सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के फर्जंद और आसमान इमामत विलायत के आठवीं गुलशन सितारे को अपने दामन में जगह दी और हर साल ईरान इस्लामी और दुनिया भर से लाखों अकीदतमंद ज़ाहिरीन उस मलकूती बारगाह कि जियारत से मुशर्रफ होते ताकि अपनी तशनलक नफूस को मारिफ अहल बैत अलैहिस्सलाम के जुलाल व खालिस चश्मे से सैराब करे इस बारगाह मुनव्वर के खिदमतगुजारों के मजमूए उस्तान कुद्सी रज़वी का हर एक फर्द किसी न किसी तरह हजरत इमाम रऊफ तामिर al-Hujjaj अली ibn मूसा रज़ा अलैहिस्सलाम की ज़ाहिरीन गिरामी की खिदमत में मशगूल है ताकि वो इत्मीनान खातिर और आसूदगी के साथ ज़ियारत के फरीज़े को अंजाम दे और उस आसमानी व नूरानी बारगाह से मुकम्मल तौर पर बहरमंद हो सके। इस सिलसिले में उस्ताद कुद्स रज़वी के मुदीरियत ज़ाहिरीन गैर ईरानी इंशाअल्लाह if you have chance inshallah next the future to ziyarat of Imam alayhi salatu wassalam and you see by your eyes the khidmat or service of ظاهرین غیر ایرانی خارجی और बिलखुसूस हजरत इमाम रज़ा अलैहि सलाम के राह व रवीश और सीरत व जिंदगी को उस मकतब के दोस्तों और चाहने वालों के लिए पेश करें। मुदीरियत ज़ाहिरीन गैर ईरानी तमाम इक़दामात इंक़िलाब इस्लामी के रहबर फरज़ाना हजरत आयतुल्लाह अल-उज़्मा सईद अली खामेनी दाम ज़िल्लुल आली की फरमाइशात को तहक़ीक़ बख्शने उस्ताद कुद्स रज़वी के मुतवली मुहतरम के अवामिर को बजालाने उस्ताद कुद्स रज़वी के 20 साल नस्बुल ऐन की सनद को तत्बीक़ देने और गैर ईरानी ज़ाहिरीन की बसीरत अफजाई और मानवी रुश्द व इर्तिका के जरूरतों की पेश नजर इस्लामी फरहंग व सकाफत और तमद्दुन को फरोग़ दीनी की गरज से की ये सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि मोहम्मद व اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ومتعني بهدى صالح لا أستبدل به وطريقة حق لا أزيغ عنها ونية رشد لا أشك فيها وعمرني ما كان عمري بذلة في طاعتك. دعای بسیار زیبا مخصوص آدم لذت میبره انشاءالله که خداوند متعال و برکت محمد و آل محمد خصوصا امام قریب خراسان امام رضا علیه السلام accept our worshipping, our ibadah and our majalis a'zab, our huzur to Imam Barra and Husayniyya Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. ترجمه پروردگار محمد و آل محمد علیه السلام در درود و سلام بیش اور وجهی بدایت که ایسی شایسته راسته که رهنمایی فرما. خدایا به حق محمد و آل محمد ما را در راه راست و صراط مستقیم هدایت بفرما که میروز که علاوه کسی اور راسته که خواهش نکرد اور مجه اس حق کے راستے کے رہنمائی ما فرما کہ میں اس سے باطل کی طرف رخ نہ پڑوں اور مجھے اس کامل نیت عطا فرما کہ میں اس میں کسی قسم کا شک نہ کروں اور مجھے اس طولانی عمر عنایت فرما کہ جیسے میں تیری اطاعت و بندگی میں صرف کروں او خدا او بارلا برای همه ما عمر طولانی و با برکت و با عزت در زیر چتر وجود مقدس امام الزمان عنایت بفرما تا که چراغ راهنمای ما و هدایت ما حضرت امام الزمان عجل الله تعالی فرجه الشریف و چراغ‌های به اسم 12 امام علیهم السلام عنایت بفرماید. خدایا الله برای ما بصیرت و خداشناسی و پیامبر شناسی و اهل بیت شناسی عنایت بفرما به برکت محمد و صلوات علی محمد و آل محمد. اللهم صل على علي بن موسى الرضا المرتضى الإمام التقي النقي وحجتك على من فوق الأرض ومن تحت الثرى الصديق الشهيد صلاة كثيرة تامة زاكية متوالية ومتواصلة ومترادفة كأفضل صليت على أحد من أوليائك. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والناصر. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والناصر. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والناصر. فمحمد وأهل بيت محمد صلوات.
MashaAllah, brother Nader. For Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Narae takbir. Narae risalat. Narae hadari. Husainiyat. Husainiyat. Yazidiyat. Yazidiyat. لبيك يا حسين لبيك يا حسن لبيك يا حسن محمد وأهل بيت محمد صلوات. صل على محمد وآل محمد. Now I would would like to invite Maulana Shaykh Saed Kulayni to recite Majlis Imam Hasan alayhi salam Falantar Salawat.
اللهم صل على
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام أشرف المرسلين وخاتم النبيين حتى المشرف أبي قاسم محمد مصطفى.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
قال الله تعالى في محمد كتاب عزيز. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صلى الله عليه وسلم.
اللهم صل على محمد.
If somebody asks you about someone, say yes, I know. But if we say we know someone, then we should be able to tell people about this person. We can't say we know someone and don't know anything about that person at all. Unfortunately, we have this situation when people ask us about certain personalities as well. They say, oh, what about Falan? Do you know this person or this personality? And I say, yes, I do know this person, this personality. And they will go say, oh, please tell me something about this person or personality. And then you say, well, I know them. But when we know someone, we should be able to tell people things about that person or personality, whether it's about them themselves or about their character, about the things in which they do, so on and so forth. So to truly know someone, we have to know in such a way that we can explain to someone about them. Because sometimes they may say certain things about this person that might not be true. So we have to be, wait a minute, this is not correct. This person is like this. This person is not like that. But if you don't know about a certain person, when they do say slanderous things or something bad about this person, you'll say, well, I don't know, maybe. Unfortunately, we don't really know that person. We really don't know anything about that person. So can we truly say that we know this person? Unfortunately, we find ourselves being from the school of, unfortunately, we find ourselves people that are in the school of Jafariya that do not know much about our imams. We know very little. So when people come towards us and ask us about our imams, we say, oh, they was miraculous people. That they was chosen by Allah, and they say, well, keep on. He said, well, look, I am no scholar. I don't know much about them. You have to read in the book. It is a lot of time, right? But how can we say we know the imams and also love the imams, and we don't know the imams, and be able to explain about the imams and let people know who are unaware about the imams, to familiarize them about the imams? Not only them, but ourselves. Because when we know something about someone, if we know their character, then we will be closer to them. Oh, we look at it, talk about this. We're not talking about regular people, unfortunately, at this time. We're talking about someone that is very special to us. This person was one of the people that one time a man came to him and asked him that, oh, well, my wudu, can you tell me if they saw that this man had his wudu was incorrect, so they went to him and said, can you look at one of us and see who is doing wudu correctly? And when the man noticed that the wudu that they was doing wasn't the wudu that he was doing, he realized that his wudu wasn't correct. This person was one of them. It was a time that there was a cloak in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He called this person under that cloak, and then he prayed, and Allah Jalla purified this person. It was a time that when the Christians of Najm came, and they said, you bring yourselves, and we bring ourselves, you bring your women, and we curse those that were alive, that this person was also with them. So we say, bring your children, he was also there. This is a person that was in many battles that was portrayed or that took place during the Islamic history. This person is also one who came from the most pious lineage that one could be. One of them being Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Another being the daughter of Zahra of Rasulullah. Muhammad and his father being no other than Pharaoh. And now we wonder, who is this guy? And we really don't know the Imam. But this one in which I'm talking about is called Imam Hasan. He plays a special role in the hearts of those who follow Ahlul Bayt. Not only because he is our Imam, but he was also one of the people of the cult. The beloved Imam Hasan those that follow this true path of Ahlul Bayt. But what do we know about him other than those things? We know that he is Imam. We know, mashallah. But what did his father say to him, or what did his father do to him to show the people that he was Imam that will come after him? Did he do something special? They said that when Imam Ali alayhi salam was on his deathbed and he was about to descend to the next world, he told Imam Hasan to come close to him. He said, come close to me. They said that as he came close to him, he told him the secret. The secret in which, when he became Imam, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had told him. So Amr ibn Bini entrusted the secret to Imam Hasan alayhi salam. Secret. God was messing with me. But it was something that was showing us that he will be the successor after him. Because as we know that the Imam does not choose a successor, the successor is from Allah. Let me give an example. While we can prove that successors, Khalifas from Allah. Allah, he says, in the Quran, he told to the angels, I'm about to create a vicegerency on earth. Khalifa. Mind you, this vicegerency was not created. So Allah created the vicegerency before he created Adam, before he created man, he created the vicegerency. So for one, he's showing how important it is. For two, he also tells us that he is the one who has chosen the Imam, not us, because of course, if we choose an Imam, we're going to choose someone that's going to be on our side. This guy, I don't know if you have Fruity Pebbles cereal here, but if you do, I say I choose him because he likes Fruity Pebbles cereal. It will be something biased. And only when the Imam tells about the next Imam, he's following the ordinance in which Allah has given him to show the people that this is the one who becomes next. You see this? They're showing us through this thing right here that Imam Hasan is the one to come after by giving him the secret which Allah gave to him. Oh, man, about his character. How did he do things? How was he seen amongst the people? Was it just that? Was the Imam seen a certain way amongst the people? Did people look at him and know he was the Imam? Did they see and say, he's the one that is the Imam? Or did he have to tell people like, I am the Imam? As all Imams throughout all of from Mu'mineen all the way to Imam Mahdi, Aja'Allahu ta'ala Farajahum Sharif. They all was the most knowledgeable of their area or their time or their town. There was no one who excelled. No, when he come down to the hill, the knowledge. This also was going on with Imam Hasan alayhi salam. There was no one that excelled him in the knowledge around him. And when it came to piety, Imam Hasan was definitely the one that was the most pious. This is when they trace that also show the people that he's Imam. You can't say, oh, he's someone knowledgeable. He's someone pious. No. Allah Ta'ala, he placed these certain characteristics in the Imam so they excel higher than anyone else. This is the proof. This is the proof. Or the clue. Or a clue. To show that these are the ones. It says certain things in which the Imam used to do that was so amazing. It said every time that he will remember death, he will cry. Think about it. When we remember death, do we cry? No. For some reason, we don't see this as a reality only when we see people die. When we see people die, the death becomes a reality to us. Not knowing that this is the only thing in which we can't count on, death. So when the Imam remembered death, he started to cry. This was regardless of whenever he remembered it. They said when he would remember the grave, he would also cry. Just imagine as you remember the grave, how do you see the grave? When you see or you bury one of your friends, you look inside the grave, you look and you see that one day I will be in this place. This is the type of mindset in which we should have when we think about the grave, so we too can cry like, Hasan song. But the Imam knows that inner truths, unlike ourselves, we only know what we see or what we are told. So if we see the grave and we think about the grave and know one day this will be our home, we will cry like the Imam as well. Remember, this is not right. They're not saying that the Imam is scared of death at all. Also, John talked about those who constantly remember death. Another thing in which the Imam used to do that he used to remember the day of judgment. Also, we never think that we'll one day as we die, Allah is going to bring us back up to life. And however form we was before death, that he was going to bring us back into that form. That means if we was to die and an animal in our body and the body was eaten by that animal and so on and so forth, Allah will bring us back in a full form reconstructed. And we'll be brought forth and we'll be questioned on a long day, a day in which that we don't care about no family members. Very long day. The day in question. Think about this. But when we think about this day, it's no feeling towards us. It's nothing. It's like almost like it's not a reality to us, Because unfortunately, like I said, if we don't see things, then it's not a reality, unfortunately. When the Imam used to think about the Sirat, that day crossing over the hellfire, just imagine, we hear the stories how difficult it may be for some of us to cross that Sirat. How sharp this Sirat is, this path. That they said that some people would zoom across. Others will go slowly. Someone pull himself across, and so on and so forth, many types of ways. He would think about the hardship of that crossing, and he himself will cry. But yet, he will think about these things. We find ourselves when it comes down to death, we say, no, we shouldn't worry about that when we become older. We find like, oh man, when we get old, I'll worry about death now. I'm young. I have time for that. But no one knows when they will go. So he constantly, I really like how this is wrong, how he constantly was in thought about these things. It will bring him to tears, because if you become hard-hearted about these things, then you will not understand the reality of these things. So we see that through this lesson, that if you cry when you think about this, it makes your heart tender and soft, and you become more aware about these things, not hard-hearted or negligent about these things, like how we are, unfortunately. You see how we can know the Imam. When we tell people about these things, this will affect how they think about the Imam Hasan. But wait a minute, this is not all. They said that when he was in Salat, his limbs used to tremble. Why is this? How can we think about trembling? Our limbs are trembling. The thing is that when you in Salat, a lot of times we pray because we have to pray. We pray because it's an obligation. We don't pray because we want to pray. And then we find that prayer is a burden. We forget who we stand in front of. We say, Allahu Akbar, talk to the ground. We forget that we're standing in the realms of Allah, but not exactly in front of Allah. But this means that once we say this, we know that we're trying to give Allah the best that we have in this prayer. So when the Imam did that, he trembled. As when we pray. So even me, I wrote the best khutbahs in prayer of Kulayni. About the list in which our life was to go to the store and get oh man, tomatoes. I just remember why we in Salat. But unfortunately, this is how we are. Pray the Lord to be like Imam. But as we go through this earth, we try more and more to be like the Imam, because once we know these things, then we could adjust and fix how we do things. So this is how we can know the Imam. So when somebody asks us, do we know the Imam, we can tell them these things. And eventually they will see those things in us, because when we see something that we like, we should emulate those things. Should definitely emulate these things and make those things part of one's life. That's not all about the Imam. You look at the Imam, there's so much other things as well. Things in which people normally don't do, or they feel that if they do it, they will be at loss. And that's generosity. A lot of times people don't want to be generous because they feel that if I give away, then I will not have Hasan story. Hasan was in a speech. He was talking about famine. He was doing a famine. He said, every time a person wants to give charity, the Shaitan, he stops you from doing it. So the guys are sitting there, right? He's like, oh man, they don't know what he's talking about. Man, I'm gonna go home. I got some rice. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get that rice. I'm gonna bring it back and give it to charity. So his friend like, yeah, okay. So he go home to his wife, grab a big bag of rice. His wife like, where are you going? I'm going to get this to charity. She said, oh no, you're not. How you gonna get this to charity? Don't you think it's a famine? If you give away our food, oh, they come, we're gonna die. We're not gonna have anything to eat. You can't give it away. Oh no, we can't take it. So she talked him out of being so much so that he started being sad. And when he went back to the masjid, his friend said, where's the rice? He said, the mother of the Shaitan stopped me from giving it away. See this? This is how we think a lot of times when we want to give something. The Shaitan, he comes and he tries to stop us from doing it. or when we want to do something, we get stopped from doing it. But when we look at Imam Hasan alayhi salam, he used to give. It said sometimes they say he gave all that he had away. Sometimes they say he gave half all he gets had. You know how hard it is to give everything away? Oh my God, it's hard to give a little bit away. You know how much taqwa a person would have to be able to say, take everything. Allah will provide for me. Allah is al-Razak. Oh, no worries. This is the Imam. He give away because he knows Allah is the provider. And when you give Allah a loan, he will give you back in tenfold. Is that how Imam? That's how Imam knew. We hear this, and we hear it, and we hear it. But we look at the example of the Imam and so many different examples that he had given people. What's this guy named Uthman? Some of y'all may know him. Y'all may know this guy Uthman. He's kind of famous, but not in a good way in some circles. And he said he was by this masjid, standing by the masjid. And a man came to him and said, I need help. Can you give me something? Say he gave him like $5. Can you give me? The man said, can you show me someone who can really help me more than this? And he pointed over to a crowd. He said, over there. So the man was that crowd was two people. One of them was Imam Hasan, another one was Imam Saed, one was Shahadat. I'm doing it in sorry. So he goes towards him. He asked, he said, I need help. Can y'all help me? So the Imam, he says something to him. He says, 3 situations in which a person can ask for help and get help. He said, for one, that you owe a deal, blood money, and you cannot pay it. Your blood money, you can't pay it. You ask for money. He said, 2, that you owe a debt to someone, it is difficult for you to repay this debt. So you need help by asking. He said, 3, that you're so poor you don't have the ability to support yourself. So he told the Imam, I am one of those 3. The Imam said, okay. Turn the Imam gave him 50 dinars. Not only that, he gave him $50. Imam Hussein of Islam gave 49 dinars. And not only that, Jafar ibn Abdullah, he also gave him 48 dinars. Then when he went back to this person, Uthman said, did they help you? He said, yes, they helped me extraordinary. But you see how the Imam, he first asked him about his deed and what he needed for. And then he gave him, rewarded him something heavy. But not only that, because of his example, the 2 other people, the other Imam that's coming next, and the cousin also rewarded this person with charity. Because the Imam, he shows by example. Right? The Imam, he shows by example. The Imam is not the one that sees something and do it. No, he shows people this is what you should do. And in turn, what we do, we follow the Imam in that. Another example of how we follow the Imam. One time, let's do it for Arafat. They said one time this man, he saw Imam Hasan, Imam Hussein, it was during the time of Arafat. Imam Hussein was fasting, Imam Hasan was eating. Then later on, he came, he saw Imam Hussein eating, and Imam Hussein was fasting. So he come back, he said, what is this? He said, when I first came, I saw Imam Hasan, he was eating, and you, Imam Hussein, you was fasting. Now I see you eating, and Imam Hussein was fasting. What is this? They said, because as the Imam, if I were to fast on this day, then you would have done it was wajib upon the people to fast on this day. So this is why the one that was at the time when you saw Imam Hasan, I was fasting, show you that was mustahab, the same thing as Imam Hussein. To show you because once the Imam show you something, then you know there's something which you have to do. MashaAllah. This is not just the only charity which the Imam did. The Imam have done many more charities than this. This is actually one of my favorite ones right here. This one is my favorite of all times because this shows a person go from rags to riches overnight. But I mean rags to riches, this person had nothing at one time, then become very wealthy within moments because of a sincere gesture. A sincere gesture. One time Imam Hasan or Imam Saed also it's all on their way to Hajj. You know that? The Imam, he went to Hajj many times. He went to Hajj walking. He would carry an animal, but the animal was in front of him. The animal was for other people to ride while he walked. Not only they said that he walked, they said sometimes he walked barefooted. If you can imagine walking barefooted, it is not easy doing that terrain. I've seen people walk from Naja to Carabella and their feet be wrapped and still hurting and still walking. So imagine doing a hot sand with no concrete, walking the whole way. So they was on their way to Medina, I think it was, and their luggage had went ahead of them. So they saw a lady out there. They told the lady that, look, we are traveling and our luggage has went ahead of us. Can you help us? Now the lady only had one animal, only one animal. So this lady took the only animal which she had, slaughtered that animal, and fed them. All she had was protection. The mom said to her, we will repay you this debt. And next time we are going to repay you. So what happened, the husband came home, and he got upset with her because she gave away the only animal which they had to survive. So they said some time went on. This lady was in Medina, and she had fell all the way down to the bottom. There was so much so that she was working as a person who picks up the dung, the animal dung from the ground. And Imam Hasan, he saw this lady. Mind you, she did not remember the Imam because she did this out of the kindness of her heart because it was travelers. So the Imam said, do you remember me? She didn't remember me. He said, you, that day you helped us when we was traveling. The Imam, he gave her abundance of wealth. And then he said, go to my brother, say the lady tomorrow, and tell him that you were the lady that helped. So when she went to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, she said, what did my brother give you? And he gave her almost the equivalent. He said, go to my cousin. When she went to my cousin, he also gave her the equivalent. It was maybe like 100 dinars, something like that. It was a lot of money compared to when she went. She went from having that animal to cleaning up animal feces on the ground to having nothing to having so much that all three of them gave her so much money that she became wealthy within moments because of that simple gesture of giving. And the Imam, he rewarded her because of this kindness. Because as we say that the Imam was generous, he knew that giving people this type of wealth, Allah will reward him. And it's no problem for him. But you have true trust in Allah and knowing that he is definitely the one. That doesn't matter. Whatever wealth you get or whatever wealth in which you're going to get, that you're not going to leave this earth until you get everything that is promised to you. When you have that idea in your mind that you are not afraid to give away and give Allah a loan in which he has for Allah. The beauty of this is the Imam here. This is example for us. The generosity. Wait a minute. Is that all he did? It was just those two things of generosity? No. So many things in which he has done. Sometimes you find people, they do certain things, and you wouldn't know why they do it. Like, say, for instance, if you was sitting somewhere, or you was going somewhere, you see somebody sitting down, and there's a dog there, right? And he had bread, and he's taking the bread, he's feeding the dog, taking the bread, and feeding himself, taking the bread, and feeding the dog. But that's the next person. But when we stop to talk to him, ask him why did he do this, it's like we keep on moving forward, going, whatever it might be. One day the Imam saw a slave, he was doing this. The only pieces of bread that this person had, he was taking a piece and he was sharing it with the animal, with the dog, which else. So Imam, he asked him, he said, why are you feeding these animals? He said, I would feel ashamed to sit here and eat in front of this animal. So, oh, I said, it's only have to be kind of animals, regardless of what animal it is, right? So in turn, the Imam, he said to him, stay right here. Mind you, he was sitting on the front of the place in which he was a slave at. The plantation in which he was a slave and he worked on, he was sitting in front of it. So Imam Hasan, he told him to wait right here. So Imam, but what he did was so special that he went towards the owner of the slave and bought the slave. And not only did the Imam buy the slave, he bought the plantation that he worked on. Well, he came back to them. He freed them and gave them that same place. Generosity. Look at small gestures like this. Look at the rewards of which these people get from these small gestures. How the Imam, he gives them in abundance. Because this is a trust. This wealth in which he has, the wealth in which we have, is a trust from Allah. Allah has entrusted these things to us for us to be able to do right by it, not to harm. Allah Ta'ala gives us wealth to go out there and help the people who do not have. This is the example we get from this. This person was in need. He needed help somehow. And the Imam saw that out of his generosity that even though he had nothing himself, he helped an animal that has even less than what he had. In turn, this man went from a slave to a free man, down to a free man to an owner of land within moments because of this gesture and the generosity of our Imam. Hasan made this alone. This is something in which we should think about. It doesn't matter that we get wealth and that we use it on family. Yes, we use it on family, but we also should help others and take these examples from the Imam. Take these examples. But let me explain something to you too. Not only give in the wealth as well, but another way of giving is to eat with one another, to feed one another. One of the best gestures of charity is to bring or invite people to your house and feed them. So one of the best gestures, you can cook a meal for someone. And how many of us actually even been to each other's house? I don't know, here in America, nobody hangs out with nobody. You've been in the center, you've been in a mansion with somebody for 20 years, they barely know your name. You don't even know where they live. You find yourself saying, oh, where's Muhammad? Muhammad's no longer here, he's been gone for 3 years. Man, gone for 3 years? Yeah, he left. Nobody cares. Unfortunately, this is not an American thing. It's crazy. But unfortunately, you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to invite each other to each other's house and eat with each other. So we find that one day, the Imam who was on his animal, he was riding, and there was some people, they was eating bread on the floor. And they invited Imam, please come and eat with us. I said, okay, he came down, he sat down with them, ate with them. And with the gesture that was so great, he said, look, please come to my house and let me feed you. Mind you, Imam, regular people, come to my house, let me feed you. Let me feed you. After this gesture, I want to feed you. They said so and so that when they came, Imam fed them and also clothed them as well. He gave them clothes as well. Look at this gesture. Look at this. Just over something simple as eating bread with the Imam. These are examples of which we should take to ourselves and implement in our life. We teach them not only for ourselves, but those who are around us and also our children these type of things. So when someone says, do you know Imam Hasan? What do you say? Let me tell you a little bit about the Imam and how did he live. How did the Imam live? The Imam did this, the Imam did that. It came down to generosity, nobody better than Imam. It came down to knowledge, there was no one better than Imam. I know Imam Hasan alayhi salam. So when somebody asks you, this is what you said to them. Just imagine, right? But it come down to not only generosity, but Imam was very cool-headed. Very cool-headed. Imagine somebody come to you, right, and this out of the blue, they just start cursing you. Like, what? You know, that's how our reaction is. What? like your reaction might not be good as well. They come to you, you may react worse than them. Like if someone starts to slander you, what happened? You would might slander them, unfortunately. You know, Islam is not supposed to. If somebody comes at you harsh, you're not supposed to become harsh to them. You become kind. But it's told for my imams that if someone was to do wrong to you, you apologize to them. How many people do that? Like, stop the ball, Shaykh. I'm the victim here, not him. Why should I apologize to him? Stop the ball, Shaykh. But this one, this one goes in with you. He said that even if someone has done something wrong to you, you must apologize to them. Because maybe you've done something. Maybe they misinterpret what you have done. So one time this man, he came and he started to curse the Imam. Not only he cursed him, he cursed his father. He said that his father was extremely handsome and he disliked it. That he was handsome and he disliked that. His father was handsome. He disliked it for all types of reasons. Allah knows the sicknesses in which our hearts, that some people don't know that they're sick. Because sicknesses in the hearts is something in which you can't diagnose to the doctor. You can't look at a person and see. It's there. They have this illness. So because of this, they start saying that, oh, I don't like you, start cursing them. Mom, you said to him, I could tell you about it. Is there anything I could do for you to help you? Do you need anything? Here it is. He's given us the rules of engagement when we deal with people who are hostile with us, how we must deal with them. It's almost like one time there was one of the companions of Rasulullah, and Rasulullah was standing next to him, and all of a sudden someone came and started attacking him. And once he started attacking him, that he didn't respond, but once he started to respond back to Rasulullah, moved away from him. Then once it was over, he came back. He said, Rasulullah said, you know why? At the time that I stayed, because when they was cursing you and sinning, the angels was cursing them. But when you started to respond, the angels was cursing you and them. So I moved away. Because what happens is that in our minds, oh, you want to talk bad to me this way? I'm going to talk in a way that is worse. You hurt me, now I'm going to hurt you even worse. The torment in which I'm going to give you is nothing compared to what you gave me. I'm going to show you how it's supposed to be done. This is not the correct akhlaq of Muslim, especially those who follow akhlaq. As we see through an example of the Imam, because that he asked him, anything which I can help. This is the correct response that you should have. You know, also, you know, it's crazy. Like one of the, of course, the enemies of after the debate, they always talk about how the Imam, oh, the Imam was weak. I know you've heard this before. You're trying to say the Imam was, oh, he signed the peace treaty that he is weak because he signed this peace treaty. The sign of peace treaty is making him weak? No. Is it something in which he did that was uncommon? No. When we look at Rasulullah, did he always fight wars? No. He also signed peace treaties. Because as the Imam, as a Rasulullah, they know what's more beneficial. Because sometimes it might be more beneficial for you to go and fight. But sometimes it's probably even more beneficial for you to have a peace treaty. Example, Ubaidiyah, the peace treaty of Najah, all these things. Did they have to fight these wars without any bloodshed? These are peace treaties. Did anybody say anything about Rasulullah and these peace treaties? So why do they try to criticize the Imam because he did a peace treaty, not knowing that his situation was not like how somebody from outside would think? They said, oh, he's Imam, he has a lot of supporters. But we have to understand he was in Kufa. Kufa is the same place that turned on his father. Kufa at that time was very fickle. As you know, fickle, like, went different ways. he had, even though he was the Imam, he did not have the support like you would think he would have. And not only that, these people would say, yes, Imam, I support you. A lot of the tribe leaders would say to the Imam that, yes, we support you. Yes, we should go and march against Muawiyah. But in turn, what they did was they wrote letters to Muawiyah and said, we are with you. Not only they did that, but Muawiyah sent the letters back to the Imam and showed them. These people who said they're with you, they're not with you, they're with me. Imam had no choice but to sign this peace treaty. Had no choice. But it wasn't his idea to do a peace treaty. This is something in which we have to understand. The Imam did not initiate a peace treaty. Because let's think about it. If you have strength, if you are strong, will you initiate a peace treaty? No. You'll say, well, let's go to war. You see all the time, even in society, when a big country see another country, you know what, so we're taking this war. We're going to start sending missiles and ships to your town. But when a weak person that goes towards someone who has strength, they say, hey, wait a minute. Let's talk about this. We shouldn't take this no further than this. We should, be friends, have some type of treaty here, hey, we don't need to do this. So when we look at Imam Hasan, so then we look at we initiated this peace treaty with Imam Hasan. But we're talking about that. About this. Why nobody talk about this? Muawiyah is the one that initiated. This showing that the Imam was strong. The Imam wasn't weak as some people try to say, oh, he should have fought. Not only that he couldn't fight, because it was not ordained for him to fight. Because we see in the Bible it said every Imam they get a scroll, and on this scroll is what they have to fulfill. And they cannot go against the task in which Allah has ordained for them. And if he had a fought and go against that scroll, then the Isa Hussein would maybe not have happened. And we know that this was supposed to happen. From the beginning, they knew about this. This was what happened next. We know this. So you don't have to go with what was already obtained. No, strong. It was not weak. Weak people don't get up after they make this treaty and talk about the person in which they make the treaty with. No, a weak person, he's putting his head down, he walks with shame, whereas the Imam did not walk with shame because he did not do anything shameful. The Imam, right after he had that peace treaty, he got up on the minbar in front of a wheel like Allah and let him have it with no problem. He criticized him still. Doesn't the Imam look weak? Now, a person that's don't criticize a person that has strength over them. No. The Imam criticized. You know that we is not a good person. It comes from bad stock. It's from bad stock. But this incident was something that was liable to happen because Imam had no real support for the people of Kufa. He would have uprised and say he would uprise, and what would have happened? All of this. It wouldn't have been good for the community. It wouldn't have been good for the Islam. And the Imam dispersed about the Islam. What would be the outcome of this? You see that Muawiyah, he disliked Hasan so much so that he went to great heights to try to affect or hurt people. You see that in history, that when the time of the 10 years in which the peace treaty in 70, we went to Mecca and went back to the Hijaz to live his life. Not to be bitter or anything, because he knew that the tree was going to come that Imam Hussein that he's will be the successor like he promised. But unfortunately, like the snake, which more real like God is, he nominated his trifling son. Mind you, even amongst the school of Khalifa, the Sunni school of thought, they also said, listen, to throw Latin on Maria, not on does it. This is serious, right? They even said, listen, for you, he was such a bad person. Even the people that he considered to be from said that this whiskey Latin on this guy. So much so that Maria decided to put this person as a successor in more against the peace treaty which he had what we call Hasan. This is not all. But we look at the underhandedness that Maria was doing by having communication with the wife of Imam Hasan alayhi salam, and the sickness in which she had in her heart, that she was able to be persuaded that he said that if you do this for me, I will marry you off to my husband, my son, Yazid. So you must poison the Imam. Imagine this. That she was stooped to a low level to poison the Imam in the school because she wanted to be married to someone like Yazid or from a father, like have a father like. It said the time that Imam Hasan was poisoned, he called out to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And when he called out to Imam Hussein, he told him that, he said, oh my brother, I have been poisoned before. He said, this poison is something different than what I had before. He said, this poison is affecting my insides and is making me bleed and spit up blood. Then he told him, he said, when I die, please, son. Well, he said, please, brother, bury me, shroud me, do all these things, but I want you to take me to the grave of my grandfather, Rasulullah, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and have me go around so I can reconfirm my covenant in which I had with my grandfather. And not only that, I want you to take me to the grave of my grandmother, Fatima bin Hasan, and bury me there. But unfortunately, as he was taking him to the grave of his grandfather, grandfather Rasulullah, they stopped him with saying that, oh, how can you bury him at the grave of Rasulullah? How they were trying to deny him to be buried. If so, he wanted to be buried with his grandfather, the one who said that Imam Hasan is my son. Not only that, his own father said, yes, Imam Hasan and Hussein are the sons of Rasulullah. He said, oh, but these others are my sons. The poison in which that was given to him was so lethal that it made his inside bleed. Can you imagine this? That the one in which you love, that's your wife, she turned on you just so she could get something that is good in this world, or we think that's good in this world, but not knowing that her being married to Imam and the wife in which she had, and the greatness in that man in which she was with, that when she finally was about to, Imam died, she wasn't married to other guy. Well, we don't guess this word, married to another person. She was known as the one who killed the poison to Imam. So she went from this all the way down to the bottom. You know that someone affected the Imam. That's how. This affected Imam. That's how everything comes to it. So difficult when we think about this. Poison, poison, all right. What is the stuff we're supposed to know? We're supposed to know less. So that boils our heart. Boils us. It's almost like how when we think about what happened to his brother afterwards. He too was cut from a person that knew him as well. Just like how the one who killed Imam Hasan knew him as well. When we look at Shimon, he knew the Imam. He was relative to the wife of the Imam, but yet he cut his throat with the devil knife. These people had so much hatred for the household of Rasulullah for no apparent reason. They did things because they did not care about the hereafter. They only cared about here, not knowing that the life of the hereafter is the true life. Because Allah did not create us to live forever in this world. He created us to live forever in the hereafter. And these people, they chose this world that we only live for a short time instead of the hereafter. Instead of sending our deeds ahead of us, they want their deeds now. So they will go through a lifelong journey towards the hellfire, and more things they do, the closer in which they go towards the hellfire, and the torment in which Allah has to solve. So when we are asked to be doing wrong, we don't have to face it. We tell them how he lived, and we tell them how he died. عامل الصالحات وصاب الحق وصاب الصبر والأخوان الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه
اللهم صل على